I'm excited to have my guest in studio today. Veronica Odeka is one of Nigeria's leading beauty fashion entrepreneurs, model and stylist. She is also the founder of Veil Nail Polish. Can't wait to hear all about that. And she's also an Arise fashion contributor. Our second guest is Elohor, the founder of Beth Models, a leading modeling agency in Lagos and an Arise fashion contributor. They're here to tell me all there is to know about New York Fashion Week and share with you at home. So keep it tuned to the morning show, and I want to just say thank you, ladies, for being here in the studio.
Thank you for having us.
It's so much fun to have you, and I could already see some themes that I like, and you won't be taking with you when you leave. So it's all about New York Fashion Week. So are you guys excited? Are you seeing anything fun?
We are really excited. I've seen so many things since the show started.
So tell me, I mean, as sort of fashion experts, as people in the beauty industry, I mean, you style people, you put people to be styled. When New York Fashion Week, what type of excitement do you get? And like, when did you start getting excited about New York Fashion Week?
I've always been excited about New York Fashion Week because of my styling and fashion background. So it's really exciting. Everyone looks forward to New York because they set the forecast for fashion. We're looking at the trends, we're excited, and we're realizing what's going to be big for the upcoming seasons where it's fashion is concerned. And it starts from that level, from the runway, and trickles down all the way to your retail stores. So for me, it's really exciting to see what trends are going to be emulated from the runway into our everyday lives and closets. So I'm always excited to see. And of course, now the street fashion is a big thing as well. So it's really exciting to see for me.
And you, Elohor?
For me, we usually work backstage with the models. So we don't really get to see the front, but it's really fun, watching models and, see new faces and obviously top models as well, putting a show together. And it takes a lot of work, but at the end of the day, the clothes just look perfect with them, the makeup, the hair, everything is just perfect. And, it's fun for me.
So tell audiences at home, I mean, you run one of the leading modeling agencies in Nigeria.
Yes.
You've had so many success with models. When you hear New York Fashion Week, what comes to mind when you start to look at the faces on the runway? I
mean, we kind of look at who's fresh, who's new, who's doing all the shows, what models are in vogue, like who, and are they using plus size models, are they using, skinny models? Just depends on, what season, and every season is, different.
So every season that you sort of see different people come onto the runway, you see different models ushered in. Yes. Does that give you an idea? Sort of you're walking down the street in Lagos, or you're shopping at ShopRite in Lagos, and you're like, ooh, she looks like, is that what happens?
That's what happens, yeah. So we start looking for that sort of face that, okay, for the next season, this is sort of looks that we need to look for and find.
And what happens in New York Fashion Week, does that translate to what happens here in Nigeria? Like, how does it mean anything to us?
It's a bit different. I mean, we work with different sizes.
Okay.
Of course, for the African market as well. So, and New York is totally different as well, and the looks are totally different. Here we work with more of dark models, light skin, based on our Nigerian standard. Yeah, so it's different.
And for on the fashion aspect of it, it does kind of trickle down because I've realized that in Nigeria, our fashion is very fast fashion, as opposed to being seasonal, where you're working with spring, summer, and autumn, winter. Here, our climate is completely different. We don't really have that fall as far as like the coats and the layering. So instead, we're doing fast fashion, which is we're looking at the trends, and it's influencing the styles and the cuts that we put out here for our weather and our climate. So it does very much influence what we wear here in our own country, and influences a lot of the designers as well.
And the models as well.
Yeah.
For people at home, but really, what is fast fashion?
So fast fashion,
it's for them. I mean, I ask these questions for them.
Yeah, so fast fashion is when you're not necessarily, it's sort of like what Zara does or H&M. You're not necessarily following, you're not setting the trends, you're taking the trends and you're applying it to fashion that people can purchase every day. So you're not putting out a collection, one collection every 3 months or so. You're putting out a collection like every week or every 2 weeks. You're constantly adding things to the collection, so it's faster, so that the consumer's not bored at home. And for the people at home, they're able to get things faster.
I had no idea that's what that meant.
Yeah.
So next time I go out, I'm going to be like, oh, this is fast fashion.
Yeah.
I'll drop that in a conversation.
Yes.
So I'm going to like just pretend like I knew that all along.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, let's take a look at some of the stuff that's happening on the runway.
Okay.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to look at the different shows, and then I'll ask you just sort of give us some insight on that and what we might be seeing when it comes to fast fashion
Yes.
Yeah.
here on ground
Yes.
based on that.
Okay.
So let's take a look at our first video.
That work for you? Okay. You fine. You're in the best position. He was smoking the weed and not sharing. Smoking the weed and not sharing. That's a beautiful walk.
Okay, and that was Alexander Wang from New York Fashion Week this week. That does not look like a runway. So tell me, first of all, what is going on there?
I would call this street style fashion.
Okay.
So basically what Alexander did was put all the models on a party bus and
Okay.
then send them all out on the street, to go show. Yeah, so they're really not, they're more of paparazzis and media covering it. Yeah.
Okay. Is that something, just to do something different?
Something
Yeah, he
different,
always
yes.
kind of likes that surprise value, and he likes to reach his customers and consumers directly on. And so that's what you're seeing with that. I loved his show. I thought that it was unconventional. It was a bit surprising, something different. Instead of being indoors, we're outdoors. I'm taking it and I'm bringing it to the people who actually appreciate the clothes that I make. I like the fact that it gave me a rock feel, very pop, and at the same time, it was very directional. So it's very also experimental. And the reason why I say that is because you can experiment with different pieces from the collection. He had the high cut top, sling little tops that you could wear with a skirt. So it does translate not only for that girl in the city, but also that girl in the country and that everyday girl who's looking to fashion to kind of give her a guidance of what to wear.
So let me ask you, so that line, is that sort of more of that going into like a fall look kind of thing, or is this still like end of summer? Like, because it looked light.
Summer,
It looked it looked lightweight.
Yeah, it is very spring, summer. But you know, a lot of times when people think of spring, summer, you think everything has to be light, pretty, and everything has to be floral. And he's just trying to show us maybe like summer after dark or something. You know, it's very party and very directional. Kind of tell you exactly this is the direction of the woman who's going to wear my pieces. So it doesn't give it up. It's not left for your imagination to create. He's kind of telling you this is the way I want women to wear my pieces.
Can I just make a confession? The way I saw that, as someone that used to live in New York, all I could see is traffic. I just was like, this is going to totally obstruct the way I get home today.
Exactly.
That is all I could see in that. But it looked beautiful.
Yeah.
And anything for fashion, right? Anything for
You want
fashion.
it to be different. Like, you don't want people to talk about it, and that's the whole point of Fashion Week. You want to make it
So it's sort of like this, because how many people sort of showcase during Fashion Week?
Oh, there's so many designers. Because you also have, the main stage, and then you also have shows that are happening
All across town.
all across town.
And so the challenge is that you need to, how do you pop? I mean, even if you're a seasoned person and people will write about you, you still need it to be newsworthy. And I guess this now
fight
becomes
for your
newsworthy.
space.
You got to fight for your space on that.
Space on it.
On that headline. Very cool. Well, thank you. Let's see what we have next, which I believe is another runway show.
I did Maxwell.
Ooh.
I love
Wow, that was Brandon Maxwell. So tell me a little bit about this designer.
I mean, I think this is one of his best collections so
Yes.
far, and I like the mix of the ball gown, the belt bottoms, and it was quite different and fresh, So.
And it feels very for the everyday woman.
For the everyday woman.
Like, I mean, I love the green pants and the bell
The bell
bottoms.
bottoms was nice, yeah.
So what is that? That's like a bit of a throwback.
Yeah, I label this the every girl's favorite collection because every girl could relate. And I also love the fact that it reminded me very cocktail. Every single piece from his collection you could wear for like a cocktail or an evening out. It was very, like you said, very comfortable, very girl next door. Everybody could definitely relate to the collection. He's relatively new on the fashion scene for a few years now. It's not about 2 years. Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
it was really good to see the fact that he's holding his own.
And did he come from somewhere like runway, like any of these, like anything, like how do these people come through?
Well, I think most of them come from fashion school, or you've either worked with a previous designer. So sometimes they are creative directors for another label and then decide to branch out and have their own brand because you've worked for someone else for so long. But he's been really good on the fashion scene, and he got really good reviews on this collection. I really loved it. I like to say that it's every girl's favorite collection. I liked it a lot.
No, it was beautiful.
The jeans, everything was really clean. It was like clean glam to it. It wasn't over the top. You couldn't see it.
And the final dress as well was
it was really nice. Yeah.
And the funny thing is that even though you've been seeing jumpsuits all over the place, I still felt like that was a jumpsuit that you could wear easily and you would want.
Yes.
So, I mean, I think that was something that stood out. Because sometimes you see stuff on the runway and you're like,
yeah, you see something.
okay, that's for other people.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You see something and you appreciate it, and you're like, oh, it looks great on her.
Yeah.
But not necessarily on me. But I think with this one, it was like a real good use of fabric, and the colors were great and vibrant, and so it was really a nice
So let me ask
collection.
you, if someone wanted to get any of those pieces, what would you do?
So for me as a stylist, what I
They
normally
could call
do,
you.
Yes, well, you could call me, yes.
Number one.
But with the women that I work with and I style all the time for their wardrobes, so after this, what we do is I would create a list of all these designers, really my clients, and then I would begin to contact the showrooms in New York, waiting to find out when these pieces are not going to be in retail stores. Some of them go to the stores, and sometimes you can get it much earlier through the showrooms, and you can order them for your clients. Yeah.
Okay, well, cool. I liked Brandon Maxwell.
Yes,
I would be
very
looking
fresh
out
collection.
for, especially the green pants.
Yes.
The green was like, okay. Because you never see green, I mean, you see green in tops, but like green in
like
pants,
a
that's a
nice green
lot.
that you can wear, it's
It was
really
And
stand
every
out.
day, because that's a lot of green, so you have to manage
Just
that.
want to keep the
and-
dresses.
I know, so I loved that. Let's see what's up next. Okay, that was Dion Lee from New York Fashion Week. Tell me about Dion Lee.
Dion is new in the industry, and I love this collection, but I felt maybe he should have added more colors because it's more of like white and gray and
Felt very hospitality.
very, not.
I'm sorry. I felt like I was going to a hospital, but hey,
He's a women's wear casual designer, and so I think.
What does women's wear casual ever mean? Like when you go to the store and you see women's wear casual, I'm always like, what is that?
So more like the
and then sportswear. What does that really mean?
So more of the cuts are different. They're more relaxed. They're not as uptight, not as stiff to it. So it's more about the cut and the style. So you get like the slouch pants. Very easy, comfortable to wear the cashmere sweaters and stuff like that.
The cuts are nice as well.
Yeah,
I
the
like
cuts
the way
were
some
really
of the
nice.
jackets were.
And this collection, it had a little bit more of a menswear inspiration to it. So you can see, obviously, with the colors, the grays and the whites, and very clean on the cuts. But it was still casual. But I think that it was nice and luxe casual. And I actually really liked it. It was nice. Yeah.
Not my favorite.
Well, we know who'll be buying Dion Lee and who won't. Well, I know we have next is Jason Wu. Is there anything people should be looking out for or marking and waiting to pick up?
Separates. He worked very well with separates. So it's good to see what he does.
Let's see what Jason Wu has for New York Fashion Week this year. That is Jason Wu from New York Fashion Week. Elohor, what do you think of this collection?
I love it. It's fresh. I love the way the hair of the models, the makeup.
Simple.
It's simple.
It was all
and
about
obviously
the
top.
clothes.
There's a few tops I kind of liked. So I'll be checking it out.
And some dresses.
Yeah, some dresses.
I love
as
the
well.
dresses.
The black one.
Yes. Jason was a designer that I love his dresses, and I think this one did not disappoint at all.
Yes.
That was some beautiful dresses, simple colors, nice cuts.
Nice cuts, yeah.
And clean.
Very graceful. I thought the woman who's going to wear it is somebody who's extremely confident because you could see a lot of cutouts and also stripes, not really easy to wear, but it's a big trend. And a lot of other designers are displaying that now in their collections. But I feel that he did a lot of things with floral print. It was really great. The cascading of the pieces, there was a lot of movement. So you got that feminine vibe and it made you feel really sexy, but not in a over-the-top way. You still feel very confident and graceful in your movement with his pieces. It was beautiful.
Fantastic. It's exciting. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back and continue. I think we have Tom Ford when we come back from our break. It's time now for a short break on the morning show. Please stay tuned. I will be joined by my co-host today. I feel like we're both co-hosts. You guys are co-hosting with me today when we continue to review Fashion Week. Thank you.